In recent years, Friedrich Nietzsche, the man who had challenged all morality and all certainty, began to unravel. Solitude and the fever of ideas consumed every fragment of his strength. He walked the streets of Turin alone, talking to himself, laughing and crying alternately, as if everyone were inside him and no one could reach him. The cold wind cut across his face, but he hardly felt it. He only saw and felt everything around him with intensity. In Turin, in the winter of 1889, upon seeing a coachman brutally whip a horse, Nietzsche ran to the animal, embraced its neck, and broke into tears. Staggering, he returned home, consumed by fever and confusion. He began writing short, delirious letters, signed as Dionysus and the Crucified, including the famous one to Cosima Wagner, Ariadne, I love you. Worried about the content of these letters, his friends went to help him. Upon finding him, they saw him declaiming dithyrambs, losing himself in verses about Dionysus, and playing the piano with his elbows, clear signs of his mental collapse. Nietzsche was then taken to an asylum, later brought home by his mother, where he remained under constant care. Later, he lived with his sister Elizabeth in Weimar, under her supervision. Even in this dark period, small flashes of lucidity appeared. Once, upon hearing someone comment on books, his face suddenly lit up, and he exclaimed, "I also wrote good books, didn't I?" And seeing his sister cry, he approached and said, "Why do you cry? Are we not happy?" Small smiles appeared and disappeared, fragments of tenderness amidst decay. Few men have paid so dearly for the genius they carried. He lived as he wrote, passionately. He loved, hated, fought, suffered, and finally broke. There is something tragic in seeing him succumb to the weight of his own greatness, like a vessel overflowing with sap and strength. Few men gave so much of themselves to the world and received so little in return. And yet it is beautiful to think that among the ruins of his reason, perhaps he finally found what he had sought in vain all his life: peace. He died in 1900. Rarely has a man paid so dearly for genius. We, aeronauts of the spirit, all these daring birds flying far, so far. Of course, somewhere they will no longer be able to continue and will land on a mast or a reef and still be grateful for this meager accommodation. But who could conclude that ahead of them there is no longer an immense free way, that they have flown as far as it is possible to fly? All our great masters and forerunners stop after all, and it is not with the noblest and most elegant gesture that fatigue halts. So it will be with me and with you. But what does it matter to me and you? Other birds will fly ahead. This idea and belief of ours insists on flying with them, high and far, right over our heads and their impoturance, to the heights from which they look into the distance and see flocks of birds far more powerful than we are, who will aspire to the distances we once desired, where everything is still sea, sea, and sea. And where do we want to go then? Do we want to cross the sea? Where does this powerful longing drag us, which is worth more to us than any other desire? Why precisely in this direction, to where all the suns of humanity have set, disappeared until today? Will people say one day that we too, heading west, hoped to reach the Indies, but that our destiny was to sink into the infinite? Or then, my brothers, or